Hello, Contrarians listeners, Contrarians watchers, anybody here checking this video, whether you know about the podcast or not. You just saw Suicide Squad and you're like, sure, let's see what these guys have to say about the latest. Well, it's not the latest anymore. Let's see what these guys have to say about that John Cena vehicle. I'm sure some people know it as that. Here we are to talk about not the first Suicide Squad, the second one, the one directed by James Gunn, as requested / demanded by patron Paul Myers. Filmbusters Paul. He knew that we have an ongoing quest with the filmographies of Dwayne Johnson and John Cena. Gave us a choice. Do you guys want to do Black Adam or do you guys want to do Suicide Squad? And I put it to the wrestling expert and the man behind the Rock Cena journey that we took last year. And the man said, Suicide Squad, please. Alex, why?
Much like the rest of the world, we chose not to watch Black Adam.
Just following the trend.
Yeah, and it honestly seemed way more interesting because from what little I knew about it going in, and now it's made way more apparent to me the gap between the John Cena character on television and what Peacemaker requires like a higher level than, no disrespect to our buddy Dwayne, but Black Adam seems like, what we've been seeing out of him for quite a while. So
there's no gap. He's already a demigod or whatever Black Adam is. I don't know.
At least in his own mind, he is.
Well, we talked about the Suicide Squad on our show. We did Contrarians Corner. It's fresh, so we treated it as a rotten movie. And then there was a lot of real talk where we talked about superhero movies. It's been a while since we've done one of those. So Alex had a lot to say, good and bad. And I did what I could to keep him on a leash.
Stood your ground.
Yeah. But here on these warm-ups, what we do is we add some quotes from Rotten Tomatoes that we haven't used on the show. We throw a little bit of trivia that's not on the show. And, of course, we do the Josh Gad Minute. God, Josh Gad could be anywhere in this movie. That's the fun of the Suicide Squad concept. Before we get to that, though, let's do the quotes. Fresh quotes, as mentioned, directly from the Rotten Tomatoes website. We can start with Mariah Latilla from Film Hounds magazine, who says, "The Suicide Squad feels like a rare treat, something to be treasured and something worthy of the big screen experience."
Was it in IMAX 3D?
I don't think so. Definitely not 3D. Okay. IMAX, maybe. I don't know what else was that. That was before Cameron took over, so.
The part where the Starro was like opening its armpits and all the little starfish were flying out, I was like, oh, was this movie in 3D? Because it looked like that was supposed to be something that was in 3D, but.
Well, now I am doubting myself, maybe. I didn't see it in theaters, so I was delighted to just be able to stream it on the day it came out.
I doubt it. That 3D trend has died out pretty hard.
Next, Victoria Luxford from City AM says, "It's hard to see Gunn's first DC adventure as anything other than successful. A chaotic joy. The Suicide Squad doesn't have much of a point to make. Most superhero films try to build a universe. This one blows it to smithereens." I mean, it's trying to build something, though. Hell, it gave John Cena a TV show. Yeah. So, I mean, if it was trying to destroy everything, it would have ended like Rogue One. Like, nobody makes it out alive, damn it.
I think that's why Rogue One's only happened once. They're like, well, we'll try it. No.
There's no Rogue 2. Well, actually, yeah. Alex, there is Andor Cashin. Is it Cashin Andor? Whatever. The main guy in Rogue One. He has a Star Wars show. It's called Andor.
Doesn't everyone these days, though?
Yeah. And it's a prequel. So it doesn't undo the ending of Rogue One. They should have called it Rogue Zero. Just to really nail the point.
Rogue starting point.
Next, Chris Sowen from Geeks Have Game says, "The Suicide Squad is an uproarious extravaganza filled with grotesque num-nums, full-on naked dick shots, and John Cena in tidy whities, and it's the most fun you'll have with an R-rated comic book film in the theater since Deadpool." You've seen Deadpool, Alex? You've seen Deadpool too? Where does this rank in the R-rated superhero movies? Don't say super. Super is already mentioned enough on the show.
We talk about that. I really like the first Deadpool, but I think it probably would be the same. Where's the dick shot in this?
I think it's when they're infiltrating the rebels' headquarters and they're killing different people. there's a point where a guy opens the door and he's naked and Cena shoots him. Either Cena or Idris Elba.
Okay. Yeah, but the shot of Cena, they're sleeping like in the woods and they wake up and he's just in fucking, the Hanes tidy whities. That's really good.
First time you've seen him in tidy whities, he hasn't pulled off that costuming decision.
No, I've
in
had
the
to see
ring.
him wrestle in trunks. Yeah, I've had to have seen him wrestle in trunks before.
Right?
Not like a point of pride per se, but yeah.
If you got the legs to
I've
show
been
it,
watching him. I've been watching him for 20 years. Yeah,
you've seen every iteration of his costuming.
exactly.
All right, we're going to close with Matt Hudson from What I Watched Tonight, who says, "You'll be lucky to have this much fun in a cinema again this year." Is he referencing the fact that you may not go to the cinema again that year, 2021, since we didn't know which way COVID was going to go?
That's a very fair point. I know I had more fun at Halloween Kills. I was just like, yeah, Anthony Michael Hall, fuck him up.
And John Cena as Tommy Doyle.
Oh my god, huge Jack Tommy Doyle.
Well, those are the quotes, Alex. Before we go into trivia, the possibilities are literally endless when it comes to Suicide Squad and Josh Gad. What is the Josh Gad minute going to land on? Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, I was mulling around in my head, put it in there like so much mouthwash and just wished it around and was trying to figure it out. I honestly think it has to be Polka Dot Man.
Oh, you're going with a big one.
Yeah. Because I mean, you could have Gad do the, he's Olaf for crying out loud, so he could do the voice of the shark, and then those characters in the beginning that we don't really get to know too well, but get killed off. It just seems like that kind of sad sack done good. Do you not see like Josh Gad in that polka dot suit shooting those out? And I think there's some leg room there to work with.
I love it. My instinct was to instantly replace Pete Davidson and make the movie better just by that. But you're right. I mean, you have Josh Gad. Why waste him in just like a one scene joke when you can have him for the rest of the movie?
Yeah.
We're making this decision. He said yes, so I like him as Polka Dot Man. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that could work really well.
All right, there you go. Josh Gad, put on your costume. Start preparing your mommy issues. You're gonna be the new Polka Dot Man.
We don't talk about it in the actual episode, but one of the things I laughed hardest at watching this movie is Polka Dot Man when he has his first flare up, and they don't really all know each other yet. And Ratcatcher asks him like, "What? Are you all right? What is that?" And he goes,
"It's just a rash."
And he's like ballooned out to here, and John Cena goes,
"That's a rash."
Like he did.
All right, Josh Gad can pull off that. He can have a rash.
Oh yeah,
we're all gonna die.
I hope so.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
All right, Alex, I am curious how much, if any, of the trivia is related to John Cena and the whatever he had to do to keep being a wrestler while shooting this movie.
Well, at this point in the game, he already had his. He's like, I'm going to do what I want to do. And if you are not a patron of ours, patreon.com/Contrarian Prime, we have our well-received and incredibly thorough Rock Cena coverage. Their whole rivalry spanning up until the cutting off point, which was 2022 when we did that. And one of the things we talk about, made his return at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view on July 18th of 2021 to challenge Roman Reigns to the main event of SummerSlam, which was on August 21st of 2021 in Las Vegas, Nevada. That was my first jaunt post-COVID. Took a trip. But in between those 2 points was August 5th of 2021, which was the release date of the Suicide Squad. And as we talked about in the episode, I don't remember one mention of the Suicide Squad on WWE television. Now, I could just be forgetting that, but I do remember because that weekend of SummerSlam was when Vacation Friends came out. I remember that was the movie they were plugging, as famously, WWE does not particularly like the idea of you being successful without them, let alone like being in a franchise and potentially building your own world without them. And something like this, I think they were likely intimidated by. Famously, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon allegedly told Dave Bautista to not count his chickens in relation to Guardians of the Galaxy, and LOL on that.
Okay, but
So
there was a time in WWE history where they would have been okay with, like, let's say Cena showing up in Peacemaker attire, or would
well,
that always have been a no-no?
if it was a WWE movie, if
Okay.
like something Warner Brothers, who's that, pal? That was. Do you remember John Cena? This isn't something I have pulled up here, but I remember he went to the red carpet for this in full Peacemaker regalia.
No,
Oh
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. There was like I remember a picture of like Margot Robbie and him, and she's just stunning in some dress, and he's just there with those skin tight white pants on with that gigantic gun. Like, hey, so the Cena wrestling tie-in is not there the way you would hope it would be. I'm sure that at some point they called him Peacemaker, or
Uh-huh.
at some point, because he's had a couple comebacks. He came back for WrestleMania this year, and then also when that writer's strike happened, he was like, "Well, I got nothing to do, so time to go back to wrestling." Wrestled Solo Sikoa amongst others, but anyway.
I'm bummed that he didn't develop a new move called the Peacemaker, which is where he just grabs a shard of, I don't know, ceramic and just stabs his opponent in the heart.
He goes and breaks one of the monitors at the commentary desk, and
Yeah.
so he's in the most recent Mortal Kombat, though. John Cena as Peacemaker.
Oh, the game.
And he's got
I thought you were talking about the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. No, yeah. No, the most recent game, and he's got the gun, and like I remember amongst the wrestling figure nerds, the Peacemaker figure that got released was actually modeled after John Cena, because as we've talked about in the history of the podcast, the hilarity of the toy lines, whether any movie Tom Cruise has ever been in, he never licenses likeness, but the wrestling figure collecting community was like, well, does this count as a John Cena figure? Like, yeah, it obviously does. But anyway, enough about Big Match John. We love you. One of the best ever. As for how director James Gunn got Sylvester Stallone to voice the role of King Shark, it didn't take a whole lot of convincing. Gunn said to him, "I wrote this role for you in the Suicide Squad. It won't take much of your time." Stallone replied, "Oh yeah?" To which Gunn said, "Yeah, it's a big kind of chubby human eating shark." To which Stallone said, "Anything for you, brother." And as we talk about in the episode, I'm not convinced that Stallone left his couch at any point in time to record the lines for this.
Well, Stallone is in the second Guardians. He shows up as, I guess, he's the leader of the previous incarnation, and so they had that. I don't know if they'd made a movie before then. Well, no. I guess that would be the first time they worked together. So it makes sense that they established a connection there, and then
Stallone must have liked him. He's a loyal guy. Harley Quinn kills one of her captors and then uses her bare feet to snatch the keys from his body before proceeding to unlock the handcuffs above her head with her feet. Margot Robbie did the stunt herself without using a stunt double. Director James Gunn praised Robbie for executing the trick herself, confirming that she facilitated her own escape in the scene rather than having a stunt double step in. The director shared his disappointment over the fact that Robbie's costume covers her face during one of the pivotal moments in the trick, so it isn't obvious that she's responsible for it. Gunn states, "Robbie is like a human Swiss Army knife, and watching this scene with her flipping backwards was just beyond incredible." He goes on to express, "I was so happy that it worked, and I was mesmerized by it, and then I got into the editing room with the footage, and she has a cuff on her outfit that covers her face, so it looks like a stunt person. It's my biggest regret."
Well,
assuming that story is 100% true, that's pretty cool, though.
Maybe it's only 98% true. They're taking a page out of the Aaron Brockovich book. That's really impressive. Now I'm just reassessing Margot Robbie as a performer. I already liked her a lot, but now she's one of those I do my own stunts people.
Well, just the idea of that too is one of those things of like so many actors and actresses in over the course of history have had that thing where they read a contract and they're like, all right, well, someone will do this for me. I'm not going to do this. And you have the history of people like trying things and not working out. But that's an awesome story.
Your estimation, Margot. Have you forgiven her for The Wolf of Wall Street now? After all this,
Wolf of Wall Street was never her fault. Dude, that was the thing. She's younger than I am. I was looking, she's 33, 34, so she would have been in her early 20s when she made that movie. You talk about all the dumb shit I did in my early and mid 20s. Not one of which was being in a Martin Scorsese film, but Idris Elba was initially hired to replace Will Smith as Deadshot, but it was later decided that Elba would play a new character of Bloodsport to allow Will Smith to return in the future.
Oh, well, I don't know if that's going to happen now, but...
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Director James Gunn considers this film as the most fun he's had while making a movie, which he attributed to prioritizing creativity over perfectionism, being in the best place mentally and emotionally, having a, quote, stupendous cast and crew, a supportive studio, parenthetically, Warner Brothers didn't interfere with his vision and had only given a few minor notes on it. Yeah, we can tell. And the feeling that he was at the height of his directing abilities.
I wonder how the cast and crew of Guardians of the Galaxy feels about that.
Just Zoe Saldana just fingering through her money. Huh? And lastly, as we do make allusion to this in the episode, Margot Robbie said she would play Harley Quinn as long as possible, as she loves playing her in the DC Extended Universe. So Julio brought this up. I guess I wasn't aware of how much she enjoys playing the role. She's fantastic at it. That's for all my hang-ups on superhero movies and kind of stunt casting from time to time with them, she had that, Mr. J, the way she pronounces, for some of my hang-ups from time to time on superhero movies and some of the stunt casting that comes along with it, her inflection and enunciation and just that New York accent that she has, she's absolutely fantastic at it. And I do in the episode joke about how immediately played out her look in the first movie became, with the red and blue pigtail on either side. But she's obviously a very special actress. We've learned that pretty quickly. But just her, I never really had thought about what it would take to pull off Harley Quinn in a real life movie, because it's such a cartoony character and such a cartoony role. But man, she's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little guilty that we didn't. I mean, we gave her props in the episode. We just didn't delve into exactly what you're saying, that the translation from cartoon Harley Quinn to live action Harley Quinn, it's almost impossible. Like on paper, you would say this won't work. It would be too cringy, because she just, but she does it, and so that's all her. That's the performance. She managed to make it work, and easily the best thing of the previous Suicide Squad. Some people would say the only good thing from that movie, and so it makes sense that she went off and she's done 2 other movies playing the character. And man, I mean, if she want to keep doing it, I mean, it's a shame that the solo Harley Quinn movie didn't do as well as it should have, because that performance deserves, its own. It's fun to have her on the Suicide Squad, but what they set up in the Harley Quinn movie, I mean, that was something that I would have liked to see followed up on, and maybe it will. I don't know. James Gunn's in charge. Yeah, it's up to Gunn at this point, and who knows? But he seems to have enjoyed working with her here, have a good idea of her talents, and so Harley Quinn might return.
I think at this point it's safe to say that Margot Robbie's a good actress.
Yes. She, I mean, it's got a
Scorsese, Tarantino, Gunn.
There you go.
Gerwig.
I was about to say. It's funny because now she's Barbie, but I still don't know how many people, because for several years, a good stretch of years, she was Harley Quinn. It's like she she became iconic in that sense. I know she's iconic in a different sense. I feel it's like Harrison Ford being Han Solo, and then Harrison Ford being Indiana Jones. And you have people that are like, oh no, he's Han Solo, no, he's Indiana Jones. I wonder if you're gonna have that
Insane
divide.
for how young she is, that she has Sharon Tate, Harley Quinn, and Barbie under her belt.
Yeah. She's doing something right. Again, she started with the Wolf of Wall Street, but that didn't stop her. Scorsese is like, can you stop? But anyway, that was it for this warm-up. There's a lot more Suicide Squad talk on the show. Contrarians Corner, as I said, we nitpick it to death, and then real talk.
To high heavens.
Yes. So a lot of we talk about Joel Kinnaman. We talk about we theorize about which characters are really from the comic book and which characters are just made up. So Pete Davidson can have a cameo. We'll see. Let us know what you think of the movie, what you think of the show. Coming up next, The Flintstones. What year is that from, Alex? 1994. John Goodman, Rick Moranis, Rosie O'Donnell, and
Elizabeth Perkins. Halle Berry is the hottest anyone's ever been in a movie.
The reason for us to watch The Flintstones is Halle Berry. And if you don't know what that means, well, we'll explain it in the episode. But just watch The Simpsons, watch The Flintstones, watch The Suicide Squad, listen to the show, and we will talk to you again soon. Thank you for watching.
Take care.